Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to jump into a story you probably think you know, but we're going to look at it in a whole new way. It's Aesop's fable, The Crow and the Pitcher. And trust me, it's way more than just a kid's story. It's basically a masterclass in creative problem solving. So that brings us to the big question, right? How on earth does a simple bird, facing a puzzle that is literally life or death, come up with a brilliant solution using nothing but what's already there? Let's dig in. Okay, so let's set the scene. And I mean, the stakes here could not be higher. This isn't just about being a little thirsty. This is about survival, plain and simple. So picture this. It is a brutally hot summer, the kind where the air just shimmers. We're told it hasn't rained in ages, and every single pond and river has just dried up. It is a desperate, desperate time. And right in the middle of this, we meet our hero, a crow, just absolutely parched, flying under that relentless sun. He's driven by one of the most powerful needs there is. He needs to find water. And this is where it gets really serious. The story doesn't pull any punches. It tells us point blank, if he doesn't find a drink soon, that's it. He's done. The clock is ticking, and failure is not an option. So the situation is absolutely dire. But then, just when it seems like all hope is lost, he spots something. A glimmer of hope. But of course, it comes with a massive catch. Finally, after who knows how long he's been searching, he sees it, a pitcher of water in a garden. You can just imagine the relief washing over him, right? Salvation, it's right there in front of him. And here's the problem in a nutshell. On one side, you have the goal, survival, in the form of that cool water. But on the other side, you've got this incredibly frustrating obstacle. The water is just too low. He can't reach it. The solution is right there, but it might as well be a million miles away. Now, this is where everything changes. Faced with this impossible situation, the crow doesn't panic. He doesn't give up. Instead, something pretty amazing happens. See, instead of just staring at the water he can't get to, he starts to observe. He actually looks at his environment, scanning everything around him. And that's when his eyes land on something so simple, so ordinary, a bunch of pebbles on the ground. And this, right here, is the key concept for today, ingenuity. It's not about being the strongest or having the best tools. It's about being clever. It's about being inventive with what you've got. It's about seeing pebbles not just as little rocks, but as a potential solution. And in that one moment, looking at the pitcher and looking at the pebbles, his brain connects the dots, and boom, he's got it. A brilliant, life-saving idea is born. Okay, so we all know having a great idea is one thing, right? But actually doing something with it, that's the hard part. The crow's success wasn't some kind of magic trick. It was the result of a really clear step-by-step process. Let's just walk through his method here, because it's actually a brilliant little system. First, he observed his surroundings. Then, he identified a tool, those pebbles. Next, he applied the tool. He dropped one end to see what would happen. And finally, and this part is so important, he repeated it over and over again. And this is the proof of concept. After that very first pebble, he gets instant feedback. It worked. Okay, it was just a little bit, but it was progress. That tiny change proved his idea was solid, and it probably gave him all the motivation he needed to keep going. And here's a huge takeaway. The clever idea wasn't enough on its own. It had to be paired with good old-fashioned effort. The fable makes a point to say he worked very hard. It wasn't one and done. It took relentless, focused work to turn that idea into a reality. And check this out. This chart just shows it all, doesn't it? You can see exactly where he started, water totally out of reach, and the end result. It's a perfect visual of how all those little actions, one pebble at a time, added up to a huge success. All right, so let's bring it all home. What is the ultimate lesson here? What's the core message we're supposed to take away from this ancient fable? And there it is, the payoff. After all that observing, that clever idea, and all that hard work, the crow finally gets his reward. He can reach the water, he gets his drink, and he saves his own life. The ingenious idea, followed by persistence, absolutely worked. So, what can we learn from this clever bird? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward advice for all of us. First, look around you. The solution might be hiding in plain sight. Second, use the simple tools you already have. Third, remember that small, consistent actions really do create huge results. And finally, never, ever underestimate the power of a clever idea. And that's really the question we'll leave you with. This story isn't just about a crow, it's about us. It's a challenge to ask ourselves when we're facing our own unreachable water. What are the simple, overlooked tools? What are our pebbles that are lying right there in front of us, just waiting to be picked up and used?